Sounds like a popping time. Popping bottles. We're not recording down there yet.
We're not.
Feels like temperature in the triple digits.
That's fun.
I know.
Ready?
I am.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Welcome back to Love This For Us.
Yes, and wonderful person that sent us the jingle.
Yes.
When we're done with this, I can't open it in the Dropbox.
It might have to go to my Dropbox.
Okay. I'll send it to you.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you. We're terrible people.
We are terrible people. It's just been hectic and, you know,
Yes,
a lot going on. I finally pulled myself together today. It's
You
been
look
weeks.
beautiful.
Thanks, so do you.
Well, I got a t-shirt on. Glitzy girls.
Glitzy girls.
Some glitzy girls like that.
Well,
I'm in t-shirts all the time.
good thing I know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So, we typically just kind of fly off the cuff when it comes to, is that the right word? Because I always use things wrong. Did I say that right?
Yeah, that's fine.
That phrase?
Yeah.
I didn't say it.
Go off the cuff.
Fly off the cuff?
I picture fly off the handle like mad.
No.
We go off the cuff?
Yeah, we
I don't
do
know
that.
the origin of that word.
We do that. Over the last, what was it, week, we've had some anxiety things between the two of us.
All of us.
Yeah.
Almost all of us.
So I think we're going to talk a little bit about anxiety and our struggles, because that is something that I think both of us, all of us, have struggled with forever. And you recently have had the flare up. So
yeah, unusual.
do you want to go into your anxiety, like how long you've had it? What does it look like for you? What does it mean for you to have anxiety? Because it's different for everybody.
I have had anxiety probably all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Your grandmother had anxiety. Your grandfather had anxiety. Come to find out, my grandmother had anxiety. Probably my grandfather. Was it you and I that were talking? Like 90% of the people, there's a high percentage of people in our country, I guess, that have anxiety in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
So for me, it's either flared up or it's not. Like I don't have some people, like you even say, or John has mentioned, a constant low hum of anxiety. Well, that's not fair. I do have a bit of a low hum of anxiety, but you know, when it flares up for me, it's usually in an obsessive way. This time was about, I felt a little tweak in my back. It wasn't even a tweak. It was probably just a muscle, like I had trained some different stuff. But once my mind gets caught in that obsessive cycle, then there's just no stopping it.
So when you have anxiety, you get obsessive thoughts.
Absolutely. Everything I did we had a wonderful weekend and I enjoyed it.
Yes.
So I'm not saying it didn't ruin it.
Right.
But the entire weekend I was trying to think, so I can tell the chiropractors today, probably, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe Thursday. I don't remember when it started, because it's not usually, it just doesn't make sense, what starts it. But then every single thought I had until it kind of went away, I'm going to lean forward into the camera. Oh, is that going to hurt my back? I think everything about, is my back going to get hurt?
Or that it's going to go out.
Yes. And then, the other part of it for me is catastrophic thinking. I automatically plan for the worst case scenario. What you said to me the other day, I was like, well, driving to the gym, but if my back goes out, I can go ahead and do this. You're
like, I can call Nick and he can have people cover me. And I'm like, you're already thinking way too far in advance there. And the only reason I say stuff like that to you is because I have the same kind of thinking, and I know that that's like worst
But it's
case.
a terrible feeling. I haven't had a flare up like that, and
I haven't seen you with a flare up in a long time.
I know. And you get kind of, and it just went away.
I know.
Not just now, but I mean, it went away, what did I tell you, yesterday?
Yeah.
Just kind of like out of the blue. I didn't distract myself any more than usual. Like it was here and it was gone.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted last night. I went to bed, I got in bed 7-ish with my book, because I was just so worn out from the anxiety for days and days.
It's so rough.
I mean, I've learned how to not, I still, like I said, we had the most wonderful day with Ella.
Yeah.
I guess I've learned to just
suffer through it.
Yeah, live with it.
You get beautiful moments because you can still have like the best time, but then there's that like cloud that kind of hovers over you. Like, well, if for you it's your back, or for me it would be, I don't even know, because I can stress about so many different things. But like, you're thinking, okay, well, if my back goes out now, at least they're here and they can get me on the boat and we can get to the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I understand that you're always planning ahead on how you can handle
whatever it is.
Yeah, which there's a little trauma tied to your back, because you did have like a really bad incident where your back went out once, right?
Yeah, once.
One time, a long time ago, like years, because I didn't even live here when you did it.
Yeah, you were in Jacksonville.
So it's been 4 years.
But I had to get hauled out of here on a stretcher, you know, so there was a lot to that.
I'm not taking away from your trauma. I'm just saying, think about that the next time you like start to spiral. You're like, it's been so long.
I know.
And there were other factors mixed in that wasn't physical.
Right. Well, for me, I feel any kind of change. I read this year when my back went out the first time, that when you're going through change, you know, because we have a lot going on in our family and different things, depending on where you hold your tension, and I hold it in that trunk area of my back. So
John does too.
You know, some people are like this when they're stressed, their shoulders are up like this. Mine is like my pelvis. I walk like the Tin Man.
That's how John is too.
You know, I don't tense it up here, but I really become like a robot, like a robot. I'm like
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well,
not weird. I don't mean
no, but like that.
That's me.
Yeah, that's you.
And for me to talk about is empowering, because I for years thought it was weakness.
And Mom is
like,
very
it's a sign
not.
of weakness, and you know, no, it's
my grandmother had anxiety, and she also had rest in peace. We love you, Gram, but like she had a dependency, I should say, on anti-anxiety medication forever. I mean, since like the 60s, right? Since you and Burke were born?
Yeah, pretty much. I know in the 70s, I think I know which doctor I think it was, and he just kept
filling and
giving them to her, and then
forever.
when we moved here, she found a doctor, because she's a nice lady.
She's a nice lady, and she wasn't like a drug addict. It's just
no. But where did you when she?
We found pills all over the house, but it said nerves on it, like
bless her heart. Bless her heart. Whatever they gave her a pill for, she'd write on it BP or nerves, and she, you know,
there was nerve pills all over the house
because it's a terrible feeling to begin with, and she was a tender soul, and I think
it was too much.
It was too much for her to deal with.
And that's fine, and that's how she dealt with it. I also think that contributed to her dementia behaviors and stuff too, because
absolutely somebody
years of benzos.
They pointed that out to us when she went into
which
hospice.
Scared me. I've been off of medication. I was taking Zoloft for a while, and I've been off of Zoloft for, I never said what I was on, but I was on it for a few months, and honestly it helped me so much. It helped me just kind of take a breather, but what it also did was kind of numbed me a bit, and I don't like that feeling, and that's what I was scared of. So I have taken myself off of it, but I'm not going through an anxiety spell right now. I feel great for the first time in years.
That's awesome.
So that's been nice, but it's exhausting when you come down off of such a high. I've had like a bout of postpartum depression / anxiety. I had that really bad after Ella, and I think it just spun up because of my circumstances, because we were getting a diagnosis, and her development wasn't, I was so hyper focused on like every milestone since the time she was born that like spun me up. So I'm finally kind of just like chill, and it's such a good feeling.
Because you know,
I've been a mess.
You don't want anybody to feel that, you know.
No.
We used to have this joking expression at the fire department when somebody was wound up. We're like, "You're up here, we need you down here."
And that's like the worst thing you can say to somebody with anxiety too, is to like, calm down.
It wasn't relative to anxiety. It's just somebody that's acting out or whatever. Not a patient, but each other, you know.
I think
the cruel thing about anxiety is you cannot talk yourself out of it.
You really can't.
You know, and I've tried that for years. So this time I talked to you and just said, "This is how I'm feeling."
And I like to talk about it, because I know how I feel, and I feel like when you talk about it with someone, it just feels so much better.
Right. And you don't feel alone, and you know, it happens to almost everybody.
It's genetic. I mean,
it's a matter of how you know, some people medicate, some people drink, some people do drugs, some people exercise always helps me. It's not as though, and that wasn't even, I had exercised.
Sometimes you just can't
help. Yeah, sometimes you just can't overcome.
You just kind of have to survive it. Sometimes that's the worst part, is like if you are like us and your anxiety comes and goes. Mine hasn't been gone for a really long time, so it's gone right now, and that's a beautiful thing. But I'm always kind of prepared for it to sneak back in, and I know when it's going to. But it's hard to like, you just have to survive it, whatever period of time you're going through it, whether it's a month of really bad anxiety or 7 years of really bad anxiety. You'll get through it, and there are ups and downs with it, but it's so exhausting and it's painful. It hurts your whole body because you're tense, and you always are feeling like you're like this, and that can make things like your back hurt worse. It can make you feel like you're dying.
It don't help. It doesn't help.
And it's genetic. Like my Gram had it, her mom had it, you have it, I have it, and Ella does have it. I mean, it's very obvious.
Ella was
she
anxious.
was anxious.
Yeah, she was anxious when we got on the boat Saturday.
Breaks my heart.
But she was also hungry.
Yes.
But she overcame it
by just
much
doing
quicker,
it.
but yeah, much quicker, you know?
Yeah.
And that period of time that we were out on the river, you know, in the water, all that kind, I didn't think about it.
Yeah, because she was having such a good time. She's
Yeah.
like a little baby, like soothing thing. Like her having such a good time and like embracing it and not being anxious the entire time was awesome, and it was good for everybody. And I think it brought everybody, like, we just kind of were in like bliss for the whole week. Really. Like even now I'm like, we're gonna do it again this weekend because it was just so good for us. I think nature and sunshine and fresh air and just seeing her live her best life is really good for us too. Anxiety is a beast.
It is a beast. And more people are talking about it. What did I see? Carson Daly, which I know him from the MT, depending how old you are.
TL's not TLC. Oh my gosh.
TRL. Total Request Live.
Total Request Live.
Yeah, and now he's on the Today Show. And he's very open about his anxiety. You know, and I think the more people talk about it, the better.
I think so too.
Because you can still get through life. I mean, there are, I guess, those moments, and way, way long time ago, I think I had a real bad spell decades ago. Like to the point where, I mean, I was able to power and, you know, go to work and do that kind of stuff, but I avoided things like going to the dentist. Like it kind of narrowed my life for a few months, you know, and I look back on it and go, you know.
That was rough.
Yeah.
And that was me because my size, I was like, I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want them to tell me I'm fat or that I have this. And like ever since seeing Dr. Vagovic, like he's just made me so comfortable. Like, yeah, you're heavy, but like you're healthy and let's just keep it going and just be your best. He doesn't force me, and I don't know. You just have to find the right situation and, like you said about your firefighter job, the right people to kind of help you along in your anxiety life.
Well, that's how I feel about, because right now my anxiety is always around my back. I feel like I've got a good chiropractic team that'll take care of me.
Fine.
You know, and I do have to go down that route to say, you know, if this goes sideways, here's what I'll do. I mean, I'm never going to be.
But it's nice to know that you have a backup. Like John feels the same way because he's been taken care of by the same chiropractic team, who is wonderful and amazing, and that's how he feels. Well, if my back really hurts, I go to the chiropractor every Monday and Thursday.
What did you tell me on Sunday? They would come here with a table.
They would literally bring you a table, and they're amazing people. So that's very comforting. And then you wouldn't have to go to the hospital and do all those things that
It'll probably never happen like that again, but it happened like that once, and for whatever reason, it's scarred me.
And I have bad experiences doing things, and if you have a backup plan to get through it, then you feel better. That's like how we are wired, I think.
And you might not know this about us, but we talk a lot.
Really? No. What?
But Lauren is a lifesaver to me now as an adult, that I can share with her how I feel, and she can share back with me.
Aww.
You are my everything.
Oh, you put me through so much therapy that I am like a little sponge. I could therapy anybody. I could therapist anyone. I'm telling you. It's just, I know what I need to hear when I'm going through it, and I think that helps.
You know what you know, and we've gone through it with Pop, you know, when he had his and was John. Totally related to different stuff, but everyone, we've learned, you know, and that's one of the things in my planner you have to write about, you know, the beginning of the day, what 3 things you're grateful for. And when you do the weekly plan, it's what were the big wins for last week, and I put, you know, good communication. Like we've all gotten to the point where we can tell each other what we need. Yeah. Or we know that when this person is feeling anxious, this is what we tell this person when they're feeling.
Because we all react differently and need different like love languages to get through situations. And it's not like we're all sitting here like anxious and freaking out together and like always a mess. A lot of anxiety is inside. It's inside of you, and you don't even know that's happening to someone, because most people with anxiety can mask it and like push through and then get home and like be totally drained and can't even function for days. So I don't want people to think anxiety is weak, because it's just not. I mean, most of the time people who have anxiety are strong because they're having to get through regular life while feeling like you're dying inside. It's awful. It is awful, and I get anxiety just talking about it. But I feel the best I've felt in years. So,
and I did prior to going into the corona. You know,
well, this is stressful.
I had gotten to the point with the chiropractors on my back. I felt completely confident, comfortable, and you know.
Then pandemic.
Excuse me. And then now with our spike, our heavy spike in cases in Florida,
it's terrible.
It's probably contributing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I mean, how can it not? I think for me, because my hypochondriac self, for me, it's like, I needed this to show me that this can happen and like you can survive it or not. You know what I mean? I don't know. It kind of helped me out a little bit. Not the pandemic is good or anything, but it just put my biggest fear into realization. And I had to kind of live through it, and I still am. And it's just not as scary now. I'm not as scared of things that I can't control.
That's a good lesson.
That's what anxiety is. You're scared of the things you can't control.
We came through the pandemic, and it's still happening. It's not like we came through it. I mean, it's still out there, but that's a good way to put it. I mean, it sounds very cliche that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
But it's true.
And you're not going to, die from anxiety even though you feel like it.
Yeah.
But it does, if it's not treated or at least expressed, it
can make
detrimental to your health.
Absolutely, 1000%.
Yeah.
So get help. I mean, talk to someone, talk to the comment section, find a friend. There's so many ways to get help. I know there's online counseling and there's support groups, and it's just such a talked about thing. It's so relevant now that there's help for it, which is beautiful. So that's awesome.
Yeah, because you think about your grandparents, my grandparents would have suffered in complete silence.
Or they would have been medicated.
Correct, which in that time would have been alcohol,
Alcohol for your grandparents.
Yeah, or,
And then the pills for my grandparents.
Right.
And then the therapy for you. And like, it kind of has just... For Ella, I think it's just like, hey, I get how you're feeling, talk to me. Like, I hope communication to the best of our abilities is like how we get through it with her.
Well, I noticed on Saturday when she and I were, just hanging out in the water, I talked to her whether she's going to talk back or not, and she's talking back more.
Yeah.
So it would be, even if she didn't have anything to say, she processes it.
Absolutely.
If I were to say, there was no reason for it to come up, but I wouldn't mind saying, Graham's feeling anxious. I don't know.
We do the same thing with her when we went to her new school, because she was crying and upset and like, I don't know school. And I'm like, this is just anxiety. You're just nervous. You don't know what to expect, and that's normal. You should be feeling a little off about it. And she had a good time, and now she's excited to go and rewatches the video. It's like, she mentioned, like, I'm nervous. Like, she knows, like, what we're saying. So, and I don't want to put that into her head. Like, somebody mentioned, like, oh, you saying that is why she's going to feel nervous is because you're telling her that. I'm like, no, I'm telling her that so she knows what that emotion is.
And it's okay to have it, and it won't last forever.
It really won't. It feels like it will, because it, like, every second is like a minute or an hour long. But she got through it. We get through it. And you guys will get through it. And just hang in there.
And don't suffer in silence.
No, don't. Because that is the hardest thing you can do, is to suffer in silence.
Yep, because you feel alone and you can feel lost. And, nobody wants to feel that way.
I'm glad you feel better.
Boy, I was wiped though.
I know.
Wiped out.
I'm not used to seeing you like that.
Oh,
But it didn't make you look weak.
If you didn't know me,
you wouldn't know.
Nobody would know.
You would not have a
because
clue.
I was sharing it with you.
I only knew because I kept asking you, because I'm like, I have, like, I'm an empath. Like, I feel, I'm energies, man. Like, that is me. So, like, I know when it's annoying, but I know when someone is off.
Right.
I just knew.
Thank you for asking, because I wouldn't have volunteered it probably.
I know. But you did good.
I did good.
And now you're fine.
And I slept. Whew, did I sleep last night?
I'm going to sleep tonight.
It's exhausting.
It is.
It is.
But just
But
a
you
few
feel
more
good.
days
You
of
feel
rest,
good.
and it's soft shirt, isn't it?
Yeah.
A few more days
No,
of
but
rest.
you feel good now.
I feel great. It's hard to say that because it never happens, but I feel wonderful. So.
And it sounds crazy, but the simplest thing, like falling into Instagram and scrolling for 20 minutes, can break the cycle. Or
I watch The
a
Good
show.
Witch.
We're watching The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, it's too dark for me. I like very like Hallmark. They're all filmed in Banff with like perfectly snow-topped mountains and beautiful humans. I like that.
No, your father and I like those kind of dark ones, but we never talk about the.
Not me. I don't want to talk about it. I just want very generic. Like, John and I are watching The Good Witch right now. Well, I am. He's not. But he's like, do we know where they are? They don't even, the town is Middleton. You don't know what state it is in.
Like Stars Hollow.
Yeah, you just don't know.
Where is Stars Hollow?
Exactly. It doesn't matter. That's
Do you
the
know
point.
Rory is on, she's in The Handmaid's Tale.
I knew that. I can't watch that.
We can't remember her name on the show, so we just call her Rory. She probably hates that.
She probably does. Well, friends.
Rory's a fighter, though. Rory's
is.
got spunk.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Awesome.
So, seek out some, maybe Lauren can put a couple of resources for anxiety.
Yeah, I'll
in the
start
comments.
looking, and because I don't know any reliable ones per se. Other than I watch a couple YouTubers who are really good with like mental health, like Katie Morton, she's good. And yeah, I'll leave
Well,
all
I'm sure
that
if
down
you
below.
Google like anxiety and you can find, you know, some.
There's everything everywhere, but I'll definitely leave a few resources for you guys down below if you need some help. And we'll see you.
You'll get through it and we're here for you.
Yeah, we'll see you in tomorrow's vlog.
Oh, is this tomorrow's vlog?
Well, this is today's vlog, but I'll see you guys in tomorrow's vlog. Mom will see you
when I see you.
The next podcast. Until then, we love you guys.
Love you.
And we love this for us.
We do love this. I'll send you that email. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.